The two most recent relationships I'm with are like the only two Asian boyfriends I've had, but they're also the best. Just because I've dated two Asian guys does not mean I only date Asian guys or I like all Asian guys. I'm picky as like that is my problem. Never settle. I can't believe we made it, y'all. This is the first YouTube video that I've ever filmed sitting down without that as president. Like, we made it. We made it, man. Oh my god. For the longest 4 years of my fucking life. What's up, idols? It's Cece Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel. So yeah, it's inauguration day. I'm in a celebratory mood. I had a little bit of wine earlier, but you know, it's happy hour somewhere. So yeah, this is actually one of those rarer videos where I kind of wanted to talk about this given some of the weirdest DMs I've been getting lately from men. But at the same time, it wasn't really like planned because normally when I'm about to make a video, I'll like take notes and be like, all right, don't forget to talk about this, don't forget that, include this, insert that. No such luck today. I've been getting a lot of weird DMs lately where it's a black dude like, oh, you need to leave him alone, that's why this is happening to you. Or I'll get a weird message from some Korean dude like, hey, I want foreign girlfriend, I see you like Asian men. Like, look, let me explain, all right? Because what y'all see in the thumbnail title is true. I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of funny to do these little like clickbaity trigger type of things because you see people see that, rush right to the comments, and they don't even watch the video to like understand the context of what I'm trying to say. So while it is true, yes, I do prefer dating Asian guys. That is my personal preferences based on my own personal relationships and encounters. But I in no way, shape, or form exclusively date Asian men. Over the summer in LA, I was just ghosted by a black dude and an Asian dude. I'm ghosted equally. I figured this video would kind of just be talking about my dating experiences. You guys have seen this long, continuing, what's the word, epic struggle of my dating life, my love life. And I finally figured out why I'm always being ghosted. I don't know why it took me this long to realize that, but I gotta tease y'all and explain up some of the stuff a little bit later in the video to keep y'all here. But first, I see, I think the YouTube algorithm kind of played me a little bit because I did just upload a video about some skincare and this Teamy Blends mask. You guys can watch the full video. I'm gonna insert the little card here, but watch this one first and then go back to that. I just uploaded it. You're gonna see this 2 days later. This is a Teamy Blends Detox Green Tea Mask that I actually really like. It smells like lemon, it's really good, and you can get a 20% off coupon with the code LESSON3. So I will put all that in the description box below if you're interested, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but lately I've been a lot more barefaced in my videos because normally I will do makeup being out for the day. Like before 2020, I would do my makeup and keep it on because I was going somewhere. Last year, I was kind of doing my makeup just to take it off after I was done making a YouTube video. Don't really wear it because of the mask. Don't really wear it because I don't go anywhere. So I've been barefaced. I do lipstick, I have a little bit of highlighter, and I do my eyebrows. That's it. What you see on my skin is what you get. So if you're interested in a little glow up, I'll leave everything to this mask in the description box below. Check out the video if you want to learn more about it, but you can also get this coupon code so y'all can use it. So yes, those who click this video, you see what it says in the thumbnail. I'm not misleading you, I'm not BSing you. This is all about my own preference, and I kind of felt the need to just talk about this a little bit, like I said, given the weird DMs I've been getting lately. I've been on a lot of dating sites because you can't meet anybody in a pandemic any other way. I stay home all day. And they say, oh, I saw your YouTube channel. Hey, I saw your profile on insert dating app here. And they'll DM me on Instagram and be like, oh, you need to stop messing with these dudes. Or, oh, I've seen you dated a few. That means I have a shot. Or that means you'll like me too. And
how, Sway? Take a few steps back.
I don't like that. So let me clarify some things. My personal dating preferences come from my personal experiences. I'm still very particular, very picky about who I date, period. I don't know if y'all can hear that. I'm watching Corey Kenshin. Spooky Scary Sunday.
Cause my name is Corey Kenshin.
I guess I can go ahead and kind of just like go from like my first boyfriend up until like the most recent, and then just kind of talk about how your personal experiences shape your preferences. So I was 13 when I had my first, well, we'll start at 13. When you're like 11, that don't really count, right? All right, so I was 13 when I had my first boyfriend. I had just moved to Virginia to be with my dad, me and my brother. And I was the new girl in school. I literally had just turned 13. This was late April, and I'm the new girl at a new school. That kind of sucked. It was at Hamptons Roads in Virginia. Shout out to VA. Or VA.
Bitch, you guessed it. You was right.
People were being nice to me. I was the new girl. I'm used to being the new girl. I've moved, oh my God, I've been to like 14 schools, 15 if you count my university. It's ridiculous. So I'm used to being the new girl, unfortunately. But yeah, people were really nice at the school. I dated this dude. He had like these like sandy brown cornrows and like these bright like hazel eyes. He was an Aquarius. I'm gonna get into some of the horoscopes here too, because there's a pattern I've noticed. And some people who know some of my like K-pop crushes, for example, y'all might be like, oh, I see what's happening here. He was an Aquarius. I actually really like Aquarius guys too. We get along really well. You know, we only dated for a few months. I was 13 and we had moved back to Maryland with my mom after the end of the summer anyway. I remember I used to get so mad because when he would come over, I'm all excited because I'm like, my boyfriend's coming over. My dad's super strict. He wouldn't even let us go into a separate room alone. Like me and him wanted to play Soul Calibur 3. Had just come out. This was like 2006. We wanted to play Soul Calibur 3 upstairs in the bedroom with my little brother. My dad would not let me in that room with him. I'm like, you really think I'm in front of my little brother? So I remember I used to get like upset / jealous because him and my dad hit it off so well. I'm just over there in the corner like, I'll just go swim by myself then. Like they hit it off. Me and him didn't break up on any bad terms or anything. We never actually technically officially broke up. Like I just moved. You know, this is actually gonna be kind of fun, I think. If y'all want to sit here and watch this whole thing, I think I'll just sit here and talk about like my exes. I always get really nostalgic about that anyway when I'm back home in Maryland. Like every time like I'm driving down roads, I'm like, oh, high school. Like, so yeah, all right, this might be kind of fun. The next boyfriend, it came for a while, but I did have this crush who later became my boyfriend. So this was in 8th grade. He was a Virgo. First bit of this pattern that y'all might start to see develop. I remember I had the biggest crush on him. We were all in the 8th grade. He was only in one of my classes, my English class, but we also had like lunch together. And I would, oh my God. I remember that song Promise by Sierra came out, and in my mind, every time I saw him, I just like saw him walking in slow motion to that song. I'm so extra. This one time we had like an English project together, and I was in a group with him and like this other girl. And they were besties. Like I was like the awkward third person there. He kind of just went on about how he doesn't like he didn't think I was cute, and he said I don't think she's cute, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't like him either. So I had a boyfriend in 7th grade. I didn't have another boyfriend again until I was in the 10th grade. Now this is where it gets kind of funny because he was a freshman, so he was a year younger than me, also a Virgo. You see what's happening here? I had this really close friend, and she like rode the same school bus as him. She like lived in the same neighborhood as him, and she knew him. They were like neighborhood childhood friends. So I was like, oh my God, like who's this new guy? Because he was new. He was a freshman that year. I was a sophomore. So I was like, who's he? Like he's cute. And she's like, oh, that's so and so. I'm not telling y'all names. Don't ask. So I remember that year I actually went out for the track team because he was on the track team. I thought that'd be like cute after school bonding time. I remember one day in particular we went to a football game, and our school turf was like under construction and stuff, so we end up having to go to like a recreational center nearby in the woods somewhere. I walk up to meet my friend because my mom had just dropped me off, and then this dude I don't know, he's like, oh, you're the one who likes this guy. And I was just like,
I'm sorry.
because I mean she told him, and I was like, girl, you what, who you telling? Like why would you?
Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody.
It was weird, but it all worked out because it turns out that this boy had liked me too. So I was like, oh, you like me too? Okay. But the thing that was awkward is the more serious me and him started to get, that's when my friend told me she likes him too. I'm like, why would you wait until after feelings are developed? We ended up breaking up after only like 2 months. We kind of bonded because of football. Like I'm a huge Ravens fan. He was a Cowboys fan. He probably still is, unfortunately for him. Next boyfriend was actually the guy who was in the 8th grade that I liked, who said he didn't like me. Now he went to a magnet high school, so even though we went to different high schools, I would see him in the mornings and after school, and I was on the track team, so I would see him after school. And I was just kind of like, I know him from somewhere. Like I hadn't seen him in years. So I found him on Facebook, because that's what I used to do. Like I would like message you on Facebook if I didn't have the guts to talk to you. But I do remember on Facebook messaging him and trying to get to know him. But my thing is, I went to a very like, honestly, I've been pretty lucky. Most of my schools have been really like racially, ethnically diverse and mixed. But I will say, no matter what race you were, white girls were like the hot thing. Everybody wanted the girls with the North Face jackets, the leggings, and the Uggs. I messaged this dude from middle school and I was like, hey, did you used to go to Deer Park Middle? I can say the school names. All right, did you go to Deer Park Middle? And he's like, oh yeah. And I was like, oh wow, what are you doing at my high school? I tend to like guys where I can't fully obviously tell what their background is. Like that, I think I went through that phase like in middle school and high school, because he was actually half Brazilian and half black. I didn't know that. I just know he was like pretty dark and had like curly hair. Like I said, this is another Virgo though. So we started talking on Facebook quite often, and we would hang out after school a little bit, like in the annex, until I would walk home from track practice, and then he would just catch the bus home. And I remember after a while we started to go out, but we only went out for like 3 days because it was very apparent and very obvious that he was just looking for some booty. Mind you, at the time I'm like in 10th grade, so it took me years to actually go all the way and lose the V card. I am quite sure that the reason I am ghosted so much in life is because I am such a huge prude. If things start to get suggestive, or I can tell like that's what you're into and that's what you're prioritizing, I lose interest. I'm upfront with guys about that at first, and it seems like they're like, yeah, that's cool, I respect that, because they think they can change my mind about that, and then when they see they can't, they lose interest. And I think that's why I get ghosted. I'm pretty sure that's why. I mean, what other reason would there be? I'm cute, I'm nice, I'm cool, I'm funny, I'm smart, I got goals. My love life was pretty much non-existent until I got to college. I had like, you know, the cute little stay up all night and text over the summers. That happened twice. One was with this white dude and one was with this dude. I was fascinated because he was from Panama. Like not Panama in Florida, but like Panama, the country. I was like, oh cool. He had a cool last name. So yeah, and we bonded a lot over Eminem, because Eminem's Recovery album had just came out. This was 2010, and we used to talk about anime a lot too, and I was in an anime club and all that stuff. He was a year older than me. He was a Taurus. The dude I had the other summer fling with, the white boy, we literally dated for a day because of how everybody reacted to us being a couple. We're like, yeah, that's not going anywhere. He was a Sagittarius, same age as me. So other than that, I didn't really have much of a love life until I got to college. And this is where I first saw my first like actual boyfriend. Like, the reason I say actual boyfriend is because like the first dude I like went all the way with, and still to this day the longest relationship I was in. And I did a video with him last year, about a year ago. I thought he might have been like black and Filipino or something. I honestly could not tell, but I never would have guessed Cambodian. I never met a Cambodian person. I had a crush on him, but I kind of noticed he hung out with this girl, so I kind of assumed he had a girlfriend, so I didn't really act on that in any way. We lived on the same floor in the freshman dorm, so I used to see him a lot too. Yeah, so nothing happened to that. But then we had Hurricane Sandy. So, you know, I was an out-of-state student in New Jersey at Rutgers University, and I remember the power went out. It was so creepy to see the skyline of Newark, New Jersey just dark. I was like, oh, this looks like The Walking Dead. And I was by myself. Like, my roommate went home. She lived in the area, so she just went home. And the only other person in my dorm was a Chinese exchange student, so it was just me and her. And I was like, we don't talk. So luckily, one of my friends invited me to go up to her room because they all were like taking turns watching movies on laptops. And they had like Rugrats in Paris or something. So like we were just watching a bunch of DVDs. And then we ended up playing Never Have I Ever. And I made a video about this dude. This is like the first time I've been cheated on. We ended up playing like Never Have I Ever, and he revealed that he was still a virgin. I was like, oh, cool, me too. Like, and that for some reason made me interested in him. I don't know, because I didn't think I'd have to worry about like being pressured into doing anything, which to his credit, he's an asshole, but he never took it that way. Like, he never tried to be like a pervert or like, hey, so we try to smash. Because I had actually just had like a sort of fling with my ex's roommate. Like I said, I didn't think he was interested in me. I thought he had this girlfriend, so I just like backed off. But we all got really close. Our floor won like a scavenger hunt, so we got to go to, what's it called, Six Flags, and we all kind of bonded over that. So like they would invite us over, me and my roommate, they would invite us over for movie night, and that's when I kind of got acquainted with one of his roommates. He was from either Honduras or El Salvador. I'm gonna say Honduras, but I don't really remember. He was clearly just all about wanting some punani, and that was not gonna happen. So I was quickly evolving past that. And yeah, so I was like, oh my god, a fellow virgin in college, this is amazing. He was a Pisces. He actually had the same birthday as my mom, so I thought that was kind of cute. I was like, oh my god, you and my mom have the same birthday. And honestly, I thought he was black because he was really dark and had like a short haircut. He had like really straight hair, but it was kind of short, so I couldn't really tell anyway. He ended up cheating on me. I made a whole video about that too. And then after that, I dated this Russian dude. Yep, we broke up because he couldn't wait for me to be ready for relations. And I made a video all about that too, so I'm not gonna be too repetitive here. Oh wait, actually no, there was this Moroccan dude I used to talk to. We never became like an official couple because I could tell he was more interested in relations, and I wasn't ready for that yet in life. Then I remember coming back to campus, and my roommate, this is the first time I had a new roommate. The first 2 years I stayed with the same girl. She was from Newark. Fall of 2014, I took that semester off because I couldn't afford to go back. So when I moved back in, I had a new roommate, and she was Korean American. Like, she was born in Korea but adopted in America. She was really cool, and this was also right at the time when I started to get like way into like K-pop, and this is when I still watched Korean dramas, and me and her kind of bonded over that. So I remember it was like January, you know, people come back from winter break like, oh my god, happy new year, merry Christmas, happy all that good stuff. And we were supposed to go to this party. It was like a club in New York City, and it was either a really bad blizzard or like the club flooded. I can't remember which case it was because both of these things happened, but I can't remember this club why we didn't go to. We were all dolled up and ready to go, but we ended up deciding to stay in and get a little litty. So she pulls out this magical liquid from beneath her bed, and she's like, here, drink this. And I'm like, what's that? And it's soju, and I didn't know it at the time, but it was soju. Wow. So I'm drinking soju and stuff, and people were, hey, how was your winter break and stuff? We were kind of talking for the first time like ever really, but we all exchanged numbers after the scavenger hunt and stuff. I'm feeling the soju a little bit, so I'm feeling a little braver than usual. And I remember I was like, oh my god, like I used to have the biggest crush on you freshman year. He's like, what? No way, I thought you were cute too. But I used past tense so my feelings wouldn't get hurt in case he was like, oh, that's cute, but I'm not interested.
Got it!
So then, you know, we started to talk from there. And to this day, that is still my most like official relationship. My most serious relationship. I have not been in many. I do get very out of sight, out of mind. And that's why actually me and him ended up breaking up, because he had graduated, so I was on campus by myself. And at the same time, I was about to move to Korea. Like, I'm all about Korea. Let me get all this paperwork done. Let me figure this out to move to Korea. I was only planning to go for 6 months. Jokes, because that turned into 2 years. We took a lot of trips. Like, we all went to Miami twice for spring break. We went to California. He met my dad in Virginia. We took a lot of trips together, so like things were exciting and interesting and new. But as soon as we'd stopped seeing each other every day, it fizzled out. So our breakup was pretty amicable. Like I said, we're still cool. Yeah, so that's like the first. I think I actually made a really good choice about who to lose the card with. He was really respectful, really, so we never even got into a fight. Like, that kind of, I'm like, do you ever get mad? Like, what's up with that? He's like, oh, I'm just chilling. The most mad I've ever seen him get is playing GTA Online and somebody messes up the heist at the end. Sorry, I had to change my memory card. I'm talking too much. We never fought. Like, everything was always really chill between us. He's a Capricorn, also born in '94. I don't know why I vibe so well with dudes born in 1994. I don't know why. Capricorns and Virgos are in particular my favorite. Like, I think the first time I noticed I had like I like Capricorns was actually in high school. We didn't become couples, so that's why I didn't really mention this. But he was Filipino, and he was the first guy to ever ask me to like a school dance. Like, I was like, you want to go with me? I'm so not used to, like I said, in my school, white girls were like all the rage. Like, everybody always wanted the white girls. You know, it was just a friendly thing, but I remember the reason it didn't fully work out is because I had a friend. Me and her were really close. Like, I even used to take her bus after school to hang out with her. We used to play Sims. We talked about Tokyo Hotel and Miyabi, and we liked anime and stuff, and we were in an anime club together, so like we were really close. And me and him started to kind of act on like, oh, I like you. Oh, I like you too. But none of us really like acted on it. And we lived in the same neighborhood, so we used to go for like night walks together and stuff. Like, he was really, really a chill dude. And then when she told me she liked him, I kind of just backed off because I'm like, oh. Kind of was like Helga Pataki. Like, she gave out those Helga vibes where she would kind of like hit you. She was like really aggressive. And I'm like, why are you hitting him? He was born in 1994 and he was a Capricorn. Fast forward to my most recent boyfriend, because I've been single for some years now actually. We met in Korea on Tinder of all places. I talked about him as well in another video, but that's another Virgo born in 1994. And he's kind of like with my ex Sailor, where we didn't break up over like fights or arguments or cheating accusations or nothing like that. It was a distance thing again. Distance will be the death of me because I move a lot. The plan was, when I met him, he had just finished his military service. So this was in the summer. We had like the whole summer we spent time together. And then he was gonna go back to America to finish up school. And I had just renewed my contract to teach for another semester. So after that, I had been planning to go back home too. only to come out like 4 months later into our relationship. He's like, hey, so I got a job interview and he's about to come back to Korea. I'm like, well, I'm about to go back to America. And it just, we ended that also quite amicably. So yeah. The 2 most recent relationships I'm with are like the only 2 Asian boyfriends I've had, but they're also the best. If I wanted to hit up any of my exes, I don't think it would go well, with the exception of these 2. They were really respectful to me. Like, I didn't feel any sort of, I mean, and again, y'all have heard all of the F-boy stories I've talked about, so I'm not saying they don't ever. They're not like pigs and horn dogs like the rest of them. My point is, my personal experiences being in relationships have just kind of shaped my preferences. Most of my boyfriends have been black, but the 2 most recent ones were Asian, and that's just kind of how it's been. I like what I like. If I see you and I like you, let's talk. For me, as long as you're respectful to me and there's that attraction, let's see what happens. I'm not gonna be like, I like you but you black, dang it. Just because I've dated 2 Asian guys does not mean I only date Asian guys, or I like all Asian guys. I'm picky as fuck. Like, that is my problem. Never settle. I guess that's a good like summary of rundown of my relationships and how they tend to go. And like I said, I'm very sure, like, I don't know why, I had this epiphany recently that the reason I get ghosted so often is because I'm such a prude. Like, not many guys are willing to wait until I'm ready to like make that next step. And again, that just so happened to be with the 2 Asian guys I was with. Those are the only 2 guys I've like been with, if you catch my meaning. And they never brought it up without me bringing it up first. They never were like, so Netflix and chill. Like, I really like that. That just kind of left a good impression, I guess, in my mind, and that's kind of how it shapes the way I date going forward. And you know what? After living in Korea, I can quite comfortably say that I don't want to date a Korean guy from Korea. Like, whoever I do end up with has to be westernized and like socially aware and woke. Even like my most recent ex, the other Asian dude I was with, his dad's a diplomat, so he grew up in Spain, the US, and the Philippines. And that's why I don't really like to date white guys anymore. I'm not gonna, I admittedly had it bad in like middle school. I watched too much Disney Channel, and like white boys were all I thought about. That was bad. That was a dark like 3 years of my life. But like, after everything that's happened over the summer, after everything that's happened with Trump, I said his name.
We do not speak his name.
As a black girl in particular, if you show interest in something that's not like black, then people are like, oh, you're obsessed with them, aren't you? It's like, no, I just like it. Like, what the? Like, we're not allowed to like things that aren't necessarily our own in our own culture. That kind of drives me crazy. I get so many compliments from people like, oh, you obsessed, or you wish you was Korean, or you want to be Asian so bad. I'm like, I really don't. I really don't. I feel like the one constant with my boyfriends since I've become an adult is that they're bilingual. I feel like that is my thing. I love it when a dude can speak at least 2 languages. And I think that's why I'm so in love with Trevor Noah. Cause like, you can tell he is such a well-traveled, educated dude. And he's funny too. And I think that's why I like Namjoon a lot too. He's a well-traveled, educated dude who's bilingual. You know, I do think it's kind of sad that like, for example, as a black girl, I feel like we have to explain ourselves when we, I guess, don't follow like the norms or expectations of people. Like I get a lot of comments from other like fellow K-pop fans and stuff who get judged by their family and friends, or just random comments from other people online like, oh, you want to be a Korean so bad, you're so in love with Asians, why are you all in their culture?
Bruh.
I like what I like, and it really is that simple, as you can see in this TikTok I made a few months ago.
I will go from this to this to this to this to this. I have no type, but my type does exclude this. If you ever catch me with this, kill me.
What are some of your things that like excites you when you're talking to someone or getting to know someone new? For me, that's bilingual. I like Virgos. I like people born in '94. I like Capricorns. I like people who like anime. I like people who like to travel. I like people who are verbally woke and awake and just aware. Like, those are just my things. Like, I love a smart dude. Oh, and dimples. Yeah, you gotta have them dimples. I actually think one of my weirdest crushes that nobody understands and I kind of get dragged for is The Weeknd. I know he's crazy and he does drugs and I don't get it, but I like him. I think back in March last year, after seeing him do SNL and he did that song on the couch. I was like, oh my god, he's funny. And then I realized like I never heard him speak, and I was like, oh my god, what does he sound like? Then he did that episode of American Dad, and his album was fire, and I'm just like, I love him. So if y'all made it to the end, thank you so much. If y'all still here, because I rambled, like that was kind of a ramble. Let me know in the comments if y'all made it to the end. Just say I did it. Let me know if you guys can relate to any of this, because like I said, it gets really frustrating having to feel like you gotta explain yourself or offer all these disclaimers just to be you. Like, just be happy. If we all just focus on being happy, the world would be happy. So thanks for watching if you did. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong.